Have you ever wondered what real millionaires are like? Forget the flashy cars, designer clothes, and extravagant mansions you see on social media. The truth is, most millionaires live right next door, and you probably wouldn't even notice them. Today, we're diving deep into the groundbreaking book, The Millionaire Next Door, by Dr. Thomas J. Stanley and Dr. William D. Danko, to uncover the surprising secrets of America's wealthy. For over 20 years, these researchers studied millionaires to understand how they built their fortunes. Their findings shattered the myth of the high-spending rich. Instead, they discovered a group of ordinary people with extraordinary habits. So if you're ready to learn how to build wealth like a real millionaire, stick around. You might be surprised by how achievable it is. The first and most important lesson from the book is that wealth isn't about how much you earn. It's about how much you keep. You could be a doctor earning $500,000 a year and still be living paycheck to paycheck if your expenses are just as high. On the other hand, a teacher with a modest salary can become a millionaire by being disciplined and frugal. The book introduces the idea of prodigious accumulators of wealth, or PAWs, and underaccumulators of wealth, or UAWs. PAWs are brilliant at converting their income into wealth, while UAWs, despite potentially high incomes, have very little to show for it. The key difference? Frugality. Being frugal doesn't mean being cheap. It means being intentional with your spending. The millionaires in the study weren't pinching every penny, but they were conscious of where their money was going. They avoided impulse buys and prioritized value over status. They understood the power of delayed gratification. Instead of buying a brand new luxury car, they'd buy a reliable 2-year-old used car and invest the difference. Think about it. A new car loses a huge chunk of its value the second you drive it off the lot. A true millionaire sees that as throwing money away. They'd rather put that money to work for them, growing in an investment account. This leads us to the second core principle. They live well below their means. It sounds simple, but it's the foundation of all wealth building. The millionaires next door have a secret weapon, a budget. They know exactly how much money is coming in, and more importantly, how much is going out. They track their household spending religiously. This isn't about restricting themselves, it's about empowerment. Knowing your numbers gives you control over your financial destiny. They create an annual budget and stick to it. This allows them to allocate their resources efficiently, ensuring they save and invest a significant portion of their income, often 15% to 20% or even more. This disciplined approach is the opposite of the keeping up with the Joneses mentality that traps so many people in a cycle of debt. The Joneses might have a bigger house and a fancier car, but they're often drowning in payments. The millionaire next door, meanwhile, is quietly building a fortress of financial security. Their peace of mind is their ultimate luxury. So, how do they stay on track? This brings us to the third habit. They dedicate significant time and energy to managing their finances. On average, the millionaires studied spent nearly twice as many hours per month planning their investments and financial future as underaccumulators did. They don't just set it and forget it. They are actively involved. They read financial publications, they study the market, and they carefully consider their investment choices. They treat building wealth like a part-time job. It requires attention, planning, and continuous learning. They understand concepts like compound interest and diversification. They aren't looking for get-rich-quick schemes or chasing hot stock tips. Instead, they are patient, long-term investors. They typically invest in a mix of stocks, bonds, and real estate, holding on to their assets for years, even decades, allowing their money to grow steadily over time. Their financial independence wasn't an accident. It was the result of deliberate, consistent effort. Now let's talk about something that might surprise you. The book reveals that providing too much financial support to adult children can actually be a huge roadblock to their success. It's called economic outpatient care. When parents consistently give money to their grown kids to support a high-consumption lifestyle, covering their rent, car payments, or credit card bills, it creates a cycle of dependency. These children never learn the essential habits of budgeting, saving, and living within their means. They become accustomed to a standard of living they haven't earned and can't sustain on their own. As a result, they often become under-accumulators of wealth. The truly successful parents, the ones who raised POWs, did the opposite. They taught their children the value of money, the importance of hard work, and financial discipline from a young age. They might help with a down payment on a first home or contribute to education, but they don't subsidize a lifestyle. They give their children the tools to succeed, not the handouts that cripple them. So, who are these millionaires? Are they all Ivy League graduates with genius-level IQs? Not at all. A major revelation of the book is that many millionaires are self-employed business owners. About 2/3 of the millionaires studied were entrepreneurs, and they weren't necessarily in glamorous industries like tech or finance. Many owned dull, normal businesses. Think welding contractors, pest controllers, or paving contractors. These entrepreneurs succeeded because they found a niche, provided excellent service, and managed their businesses with incredible financial discipline. They paid themselves a modest salary, reinvested profits back into the business, and saved aggressively. They didn't start businesses to get rich quick. They started businesses to create value and build something for the long term. This path offered them more control over their income and their destiny than a traditional 9-to-5 job. For those who aren't entrepreneurs, the lesson is the same. Adopt an owner's mindset. Treat your career like a business. Always look for ways to add value and manage your personal finances like a successful CEO would. Finally, the book ties it all together with the importance of choosing the right spouse. Your partner can be your greatest asset or your biggest liability on the path to financial freedom. The millionaires in the study almost always had a spouse who shared their frugal and disciplined values. If one person is a saver and the other is a spender, it creates constant friction and makes it nearly impossible to build wealth. The most successful couples are a team. They set financial goals together, create a budget together, and support each other in their long-term vision. They are on the same page, which makes the entire journey smoother and more enjoyable. When you and your partner are aligned on your financial philosophy, you can achieve incredible things. So, what can we take away from The Millionaire Next Door? The path to becoming a millionaire isn't about luck, a high salary, or a fancy degree. It's about discipline, sacrifice, and hard work, sustained over a long period. It's about living below your means, no matter how much you earn. It's about diligently saving and investing your money. It's about educating yourself financially and making smart, deliberate choices. It's about rejecting the high-consumption lifestyle and focusing on what truly matters: financial independence and peace of mind. The lessons in this book are timeless. They prove that anyone from any background can build significant wealth by adopting the right mindset and habits. The real millionaires aren't the ones you see on TV. They're the quiet, unassuming people who made a plan and stuck to it. And the good news is, you can too. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this summary has inspired you to look at wealth in a new way. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more content on personal finance and building a better life. Let me know in the comments which habit of the millionaire next door you're going to start practicing today. See you in the next video.